Hi, my name's Paul Martin. I'm an administrator working out of the Midlands Regional office. I'm actually working with other people in the office on the direct debit campaign for the Midlands region, and it's about the direct debit campaign that I just kind of want to talk about for a few minutes. Prior to starting to work for PCS, I was a branch secretary, a member and activist at the Independent Living Fund in Nottingham. The government's assault by withdrawing Geoff is the worst assault on this union, certainly in my memory, and I suspect in the memory of many of you, watching this video. It's certainly an attack, not dissimilar to the attack on the miners in the 80s from Thatcher. What it represents essentially is an attempt to undermine our ability to campaign for and on behalf of members, to represent them in the workplace, to campaign for decent jobs and decent pay. And essentially it's an attack on our ability to campaign against cuts and austerity. And in actual fact, in that respect, we could say that it's a compliment, but I think we probably all agree that it's a compliment that we could well do without, to be honest. And it's, for these reasons really, that direct debit and switching members over to direct debit has to be the very highest priority for us as a union, for us in our branches. So, how are we doing? Well, actually we're doing fairly well as it goes. As it stands, as of the end of last month, beginning of this year, we have a density switched over in this region of 40%. Now that's great, and it's actually higher than the national average. So, congratulations to us there. But what it does show is that we still have 60% of our membership to switch over to direct debit, and we have to do that in the next few months. So it's really important work that we've got to do. Regional average 40%, that's absolutely fantastic. And it represents just under 10,000 members across the region. In terms of the work that the field team have been doing, well, since November we've conducted over 50 individual events covering over 25 workplaces. So we've been hard at it, but actually all it's doing is reflecting the hard work that you are putting in out there, and that's reflected in those figures where we have undertaken activities in workplaces. Since September, since the baseline figure of September, we've been able to increase density in those workplaces by over 30%. Well, we've done that through our hard work, but it's also been supported by your hard work. So, really, thanks very much indeed for that. What sort of things have we been doing, and what has really worked? Well, where we can, we've been supporting you and your plans. So, we've been working with you to put those plans together and to support you in delivering those plans. What we've found has worked particularly well is desktoping and having face-to-face meetings with members. Really, there's no substitute for that. It does take time and it does require resource, but it pays off. And I think we've found where we've done that work, we're increasing the density in workplaces by 10% or more on each occasion, so it really does pay dividends. In addition to that, we've been running lunchtime stalls. We've been having branch ring rounds as well, all of which have been kind of good contributory factors. Particularly the lunchtime stalls, where it shows your presence to members, non-members and management, and it's been effective from that, but there's no substitute for the desktoping. And I think what that has shown is it gives us a great opportunity to do some good old-fashioned organising, some good old-fashioned recruiting, and it's no exaggeration to say where we have done these events, we have recruited at almost every workplace that we've been to, and sometimes we're recruiting relatively big numbers of people. So it really is paying dividends. Best practice, obviously, the best thing to do is desktoping, as I've said. But if you're going to do some desktoping, some little tips to be aware of. Just be prepared. So go out with a list of your members. Your organisers and secretaries can get lists from us, and those lists will tell you who hasn't signed up to direct debit. What they'll also do is give you the membership number. Well, the member is going to need that to be able to make the switch to direct debit. So going on with that is going to save you some time. Don't forget to take recruitment forms, absolutely vital. Have the same conversations with non-members as you're having with members. That's the way that we're recruiting. Take a supply of switch forms with you as well. And I think one of the most important things we've learnt is that for many of you, or for many of your members, they'll be able to get their bank details from their payslip, particularly people in the DWP, HMRC, electronic payslips. So if they haven't got their bank details to hand, that shouldn't be a barrier to them changing over. So just make sure your members are aware that they can do that. Just to kind of conclude, really, we can't overstress how important the direct debit campaign is. So it's really vital that you make sure that direct debit is central to all of your meeting agendas from here on in. Making sure that if you haven't already, you've developed a branch plan, and if you need any help or support with that, we're here in the Midlands region to be able to give you that support. So please do, pick up the phone or drop us an email, and we can sort that out for you. Make direct debit the central topic of your AGM, and don't forget to invite an NEC speaker along to your AGM to come and talk about the campaign. We are aware that the union's had to make some really challenging decisions in the past weeks, and we should be aware that the union is going to have to make more challenging decisions as time goes on. We shouldn't let that really distract us from this direct debit campaign, which really is the life and the future of the union is dependent on that success. Just to really finish off, those of us that were fortunate enough to be able to come to the open regional committee meeting just before Christmas, Mark Sawatka addressed that meeting, and he kind of told us, in no uncertain terms, just how important this campaign is to this region, this campaign is to the National Union. But what he did do in his summing up was say that the PCS will come out of this a stronger and a fitter union for its members. If we continue on the line that we're doing, and you continue to put in the work with the commitment that you've been doing so today, then it's absolutely without doubt that we will come out a fitter and stronger union. So thanks very much indeed.